Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus one more time. I got this particular message. I was out and your president was on my mind. And I was thinking about some of the things that I see on social media, some of the descriptions of some of his interviews, and some of the things they've been saying about him on Fox. So I'm contemplating these things, and I thought that one such as I should have a word with Donald Trump. And so Donald Trump, let's face it, as far as people know, you are a crook, not to be trusted. You've abused everything that you could possibly abuse on every path that you've ever traveled. Some of the things you've gotten away with, some of the things you haven't. But people are well aware of you. And honestly, they don't trust you. And so when you started to run for president of the United States, I hope you didn't think that people were going to automatically start trusting you. No, you didn't change, so why should they change? You know how you came down the escalators talking about people and being ugly and nasty and seeming to be less than any decency that any of us can think of. That, I mean, you just were low, man, just low. And so when you came into this election and you start asking foreign governments to help you, Russia to help you, you know how people feel about Russia. And many people think that you're angry with the U.S. because you were having some problems with them. And as your son say, you got money running in from Russia. So Russia's like your bread and butter, not the USA. And so we are people, they are people. You couldn't give a stank hoot about people. All you care about is yourself. At least that's the way you have indicated to the public. And everybody sees that. Now all of a sudden, here you are. You have no decency about truth. You just stand up and you tell a lie like it's nothing. And then you claim that you didn't tell that lie. And all kind of crazy things. It's like if they were trying to find a devil, it seems as if you would be a good candidate. Now, I'm not saying you're the devil. I'm saying if somebody was looking for a devil, you would be a good candidate. And you got the audacity to talk about somebody else in crime. Your associates are in jail and prison for their boss, you. And you still out. Well, as far as these investigations goes, you should have known people are going to watch everything you do. Just because they don't trust you. Again, they don't trust you. They were going to watch everything you do. Some of those things they were going to not bother, not deal with, but some of those things they couldn't take, their conscience would not allow them to take. They didn't fight it, and they told off on you. You should have known this is no dictatorship. You should have known, and people not worried about you killing them. They know you would if you had that power. But here's the big thing, ladies and gentlemen, Trump, is that the majority of the people that voted did not vote for you. It is the power that be that installed you in as the President of the United States of the USA. Now, you ain't want to think that you were better than Miss Clinton. And I don't know if you are or not. All I know is that you guys are different. And she probably would have come from a different point of view. And for the American people, none of you are worth the struggle. You or she or what you're trying to do. Now, they did watch you, and they see what you're doing. And they are telling the people, because they do not want this nation to go down the drain with all the people that they care about. For you, who don't care about anybody. Now, let me tell you, if you're a crook, they know you're a crook, they're watching you. They're watching you. Now, you should have been and just say, oh, I didn't expect this, and for the next 4 years try to be a good boy. And if you were good enough, maybe they let you ride again another 4 years, just by trying to be good. They wanted something different. You were different, but my God, nobody thought you were like this. But now, I can say this to you, Trump, because I sought after the office as President of the United States several times myself. Unlike you, I didn't win. See, you represented what they had been trained to accept. I think you might have blue eyes, I don't know. You do have, well, you represent what they call upper class. You're white, you got blonde hair, you had a big plane. I guess you still got it. You said you were very rich. So they expected some great things out of you. When I ran, look at me, a total opposite of you. And that's how they viewed me, not even wasting their time. And that's okay. But I went to jail. I've been to jail. What did I go to jail for? I stole some money from an employer of mine. Rothschilds, somebody who probably had something to do with your installation. But why did I do it? I did it, and I reported it to the boss. Then I went to the police department, and I reported it, and I started the legal process for me to go to court. I did it as an extra effort to get the people to hear what I had to say to them. I wanted them to know unequivocally that God loved them and that they are being slaves in this society. Every government on the face of the earth enslaves its people. Now, the people don't know that because they've been trained to think that whatever government system they live under is the best on earth. It's the best on earth. And even the ones where people are running for their lives, trying to get away from, they're trying to convince the people that where they are at is the best on earth. Can you believe it? Well, all of that goes on. And everywhere, you got people believing that stuff. Some people in that real dangerous stuff trying to get away, to run to somebody who they thought had a heart. But they found out they didn't because they were building up a wall saying, go back to the hell you come from. Ain't that cold? Well, anyway, when people see you like that, they don't want to have anything to do with you except unless they have been so trained and so educated that they are just as bigoted and just as racist and hateful and mean as you exhibit. So they're just like you, but like you, they are innocent in the fact that they were created. They weren't born this way. And so because of that, God's plan for salvation for all of the people on earth includes you guys. You guys who have brought about oppression. God loves you just as much as he loves those guys who accepted oppression, who turned their back on God and accepted the oppression from you. God is ready to receive any of you that could claim truth as your leader. So, yes, when I went to jail, I wanted the people to know that there is freedom in God, and God has a plan that we can live like we're on earth right here, like we're in heaven. And I know this for a fact. I know the people don't know it. And I've been spending some 30 to 40 years, maybe at that time 28 or 29 years, trying to say these things to people, and they couldn't buy that. And so I gave it a thought that maybe if I put my freedom on the line, that might do something to convince them that this boy got a message. But unlike Trump, they know the powers that be are convinced that even if my message is not true, it sounds good. So my crime, they wouldn't even report in the papers. They didn't report it on the news. They didn't report that I had taken $20,000 from an employer. They even said swindle. I didn't call it swindle, I called it took. I just got the money was in my hand and I didn't give it to them. That was not a swindle. I didn't con anybody. I just got the money, did what I wanted with it, told them about it, went to jail for the people to come so I can share this message. But these people, all of America, the people who have succumbed to Trump, they are so caught up in their education and they're so fearful till they wasn't biting that. So I did my time. Yep, I did my time. Another time, people were going through some changes. Oh man, people go through some changes. And I'm doing everything I possibly can as far as talk. I can't make anybody do anything. I can't make you change your mind. I can only present to you what I've been given, and that hasn't, as far as I can see, had any real impact on your way of thinking, because everything is going the way it's been going all the time and further on down, sinking. Nothing is rising up. Not even, it seems as if nobody cares. So let me say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. I have said to you over and over again that the things that I bring to you and what I describe to you is God, something that God has given to me. Now let me tell you what I mean when I say that. The things that are in my spirit, they are so wonderful and so magnificent, and they are so different from what we experience every day in our lives. And we accept it. I put up with it, you put up with it, everybody has put up with it. So I'm thinking, this vision, this understanding, this new concept, it got to come from God. Because if I can see it, I'm thinking that some of you guys got to see it too. And yet, it seems that when the efforts are made, the response is still silence. And so going to jail a couple of times, going to prison. I think when George W. Bush became president, I sent him a letter because I had heard about him. And I told him that I know he was no good for America, but I was going to keep it on, talking to America about what was beautiful. I guess they did some research and found I was on paper, so they violated me and I went to Stillwater Prison. But I never felt down. I never felt regretful. I just was thrilled that I had God on my side, because I felt thrilled. I felt wonderful that I was standing up for you. Standing up for you when you didn't even know it. When your peace and your prosperity and your joy and the fulfillment of your dreams, the means, the ways and means was right there before you, and you had been so beat side the head that nothing would move you. And so, me being in prison, it was great. In fact, the day that I was released is the day that the World Trade Center was attacked. And you can imagine what I thought. I thought if I had been president, that would have never happened. Why? Because I'm a lover. I'm a lover. And see, they don't teach love in the world. You guys don't know nothing about love. You don't even know anything about the little simple love. You don't know anything about love. And so, had you been about something worthwhile, then people wouldn't be so protective from you. Now many people say they can't justify it, they can't understand it, and I don't care if they understand it. It's not about them understanding. It's about me understanding just how much this hell that they're living in means for me to share what God been given to get them out, because I'm in the same hell. I'm not riding above this hell, speaking down to you about this hell that you're living in. I'm in the same hell. I really don't have bills, but I got needs. I need a house that I can do anything I want to in. And you do too. I need everything that a man living in heaven wants, need, or desire. and so do you. And it was designed for that to happen, but you don't know that. So for me to know that, it's my business to tell you that. Why? Because not all the reason that I know that is because a miracle happened in my life that made it possible for me to know that. And because of that, and basically that alone, is why I stand out here over all these years, from a black-haired, handsome young man to an old, beautiful young man. Still telling you that God loves you. Still telling you that you got the power to create heaven on earth. Still telling you that you got the power to stop the cops from shooting black people. Still telling you you got the power to stop people from killing each other out here in the streets. Still telling you you got the power to make people put guns down and not even think about them. Still telling you that you got the power to make it necessary, make it so that people won't even be going to prison because they won't be committing any crimes. Still trying to tell you that you got the power to put a smile on everybody's face, not just your own, but your neighbor here and there and everywhere. Still trying to tell you that the power comes from God, but God will do it through you to those who are worthy. You say you're praying and you ain't getting nothing back. God ain't listening to these selfish prayers. No, baby, I'm telling you, your prayers are as selfish as you are selfish. You think God cares about the Minnesota Vikings and not the Chicago Bears? You think God cares about me because I'm black and not care about white people? You got to be out of your mind. But he doesn't care any more for white people than he does me. And I know that. Y'all don't, because y'all been blindsided. But it's my business to tell you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as I was telling Trump, yes, they've been watching you, and now they see some stuff that doesn't add up. And they're trying to expose you. And you can start going around there trying to call fake news. That stuff ain't working no more. Your spirit, you know, one while you were playing a game and you try to be above the fray. But right now, your spirit is exposing you. Just to look at you looks like guilty. Just look like you want to run and hide. You might not, but I'm just saying. But in spite of all of that, the plan of life is no punishment for you. You've been punished every day that you've been doing the things that you've been doing. You've been being punished. You haven't had any peace. You have to play that game, con and pretend. That ain't no life. But God loves you, want to free you from that. You give up your power trying to have control over everybody, because you're not going to have no control over anybody but yourself. No control over no one but yourself, and no one else will have control over anyone but themselves. Any and everybody only give their authority to the master. The master. Now I'm telling you, let me go back to something I was saying earlier while I'm thinking about it. I have told you that this stuff comes from God, and I gave you a reason why. But let's just say, because many people don't believe in God, that maybe it didn't. Maybe it's just my spirit. Maybe it's just something that I desire, something that I want. Maybe the miracles that happened in my life was just a result of the way I was designed. And it would happen to me anyway. And to that I could say, I didn't make myself. Some other power did. And all that I can do is because of that power. And so if it is a fact that I and I alone, without the support of God or spirit or anything, desire that every human being on this earth have access to those requirements necessary and essential for survival. That whoever created us built us in such a way that we got all the organs that to work with the systems that do the things that is done to allow us to do what you see me doing right here, right now. And that there are other essentials that are just as necessary. But we have control over it. We have the authority over it. We have the power to discern what it is, where it is, and how to get it and disseminate it to all those who need it. We got that power. We do that every day. in not just food, but in everything. And so it's not a question what we do. We do. We've already discovered what is essential to be done to have some kind of life. The only thing is that the system denies people and causes all these problems that prevents what we all say we want, what we pray for. So the message is that you got to change the system. You got to renew your mind. You got to stop thinking about that stuff that these people who were blindsided, who want to play God, people who just like Trump, people who just like your neighbor next door, people who are just like you, who have corrupted everything. And there are no people just like you and I that can fix this thing. It will be fixed by the Almighty God. But we will be the instruments whereby it is fixed. Why? Because we are the ones who will reap the rewards. We are the ones that will reap the blessings. We are the ones that will have the peace. We are the ones that will have the freedom. We are the ones that will have careers of our own choosing. We are the ones that will have unlimited, unrestricted health care from the womb to the tomb. We are the ones that will have education. We are the ones that would never be denied food, clothing, and shelter at any point. We are the ones who would have, my friends, the infrastructure that is the result of the greatest imaginations here in these various parts of the world where people are. We are the ones that got the power to do all that. We are the ones that would be used to do these kinds of things. And I just want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, right now, I feel like a nut when I walk around here and try to obey laws that you guys have put up to govern you. These are laws that govern a prisoner. Look, you out here in this community, you know they got laws that Stillwater, Leavenworth, these major prisons, they got rules and regulations, they got laws the way those things are disciplined. And they are so much different there than they are out here. And that's why you'd rather be out here than in there. But if you only knew that the way of life is as free from what you're doing as what you're doing is from what they're doing in prison. But you don't know that. You haven't experienced it. You had nobody to tell you this. They don't teach you this anywhere. And so, for me to go to jail and stuff like this, yeah, I felt good about doing that. And so when I stand up and ask the people to consider writing my name in as the President of the United States, I'm basically saying that you're voting not for me, you're voting for yourselves. You're voting for yourselves because you're going to play a role in this. Right now, many of you are playing a role, but they are not the roles that you've chosen to play. They have been dictated to you by your circumstances. Now, to have the choice to choose what you want to do, that desire that makes it possible for you to learn any new knowledge that is necessary to make you better at whatever it is. And it's no big thing because you want it. And the whole world is blessed because of it. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that wonderful? Now you don't have to worry about going to Mars and whether the planes and stuff fall out the sky, because we're going to master all of that. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, what is before you, what is just laying there waiting on you, get out of this prison thing that you're in. But anyway, knowing what I know, I just can't be following your laws. When I come down the street at night and I'm at a red light and there's nobody else around, I don't wait till the light change. I go. Why? Because I'm that smart. I'm smart enough to know that it is not a danger. So I go. Now there are other things that I do, certain things I don't do. I'm not stealing your money now. That didn't work. So I'm just doing what I do, and I'm not publicizing it until it happens. And when it happens, you'll know. You'll know. It's time for you to know. But I also want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, as I speak to you, Donald Trump, I would advise you, for the sake of the nation, to do like President Nixon did. Just resign. And let all of those Republicans and all those other people who are just sticking by you because you're white, who are just sticking by you because you epitomize what they have been taught to be success. And so they hang around you because they know you kind of loose and that they might need you someday. They don't have a God to trust in that they know about. And so when I come and tell them that the God that I'm speaking to right now is their God as well, oh man, they say, how can God love them? Look at what the role that they've played in this degradation of society. Well, hey, God, everybody, ain't nobody answer. Ain't nobody answer. So don't you worry about that. Nobody's judging you. All we're saying to you is that you got a choice. You can change your mind from where you were to go where you want to be. So I want to thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this your time. Once again, this is Eddie Marcus delivering this message to the president, your president, Donald Trump. Thank you. Goodbye.